I'll apologize for not being on camera. I've been in the bed for the past couple of days, just chilling out, relaxing. I haven't been feeling too well, but I want to talk about black folks, foundational black folks. And when I say foundational black folks, all the black people that are descendants of slaves on this soil. On this soil. I'm just talking about this soil right now. And one thing I want to talk about, because this is something that we have to start addressing going forward. I know in my own personal life, I always like people based on their character, on how they treat me, their ideology. I didn't necessarily look at what benefit a person can have to me in my life. And a lot of times, these people that I've met, either they were, very connected, self sufficient, so they didn't need much from me. So there was very little interaction. They had other friends that they felt were more important and more close to them. But I accepted whatever terms the friendship was. I didn't make any demands because I didn't need anything from them. I didn't need anything. Fast forward, I got to a point in my life where I needed people. I needed phone calls. I needed talks. And the people that were there for me were people who were going through trauma themselves, who were dealing with personal either health issues or career issues or, whatever, health issues. We trauma bond. We weren't necessarily helping each other. We were just there regurgitating our pain. And always, whatever you focus on will grow in your life. And doing that, not talking about how we can make our situation better. We stayed in a place of anger, hurt, and disappointment. And when you stay in a place like that, you're negative. But at that point, those that were not going through much or didn't have much on their plate, they rather party, they rather post selfies, they rather give you an image that they're all right. And nobody was there for me. Nobody, the people I needed, just maybe a card, maybe, no, I see you, a hug. Like I said, Crystal was the only one that would say anything to me. And then, I made a group of friends online. People did my podcast, and basically, come on, you see a lawyer with 10,000 followers on Twitter, and you see the celebrities responding to her and this and that. And they're attracted to your light. Even though your light was dull at that time, they were still attracted to their light. But realizing, I'm thinking these people are my friends and really care about me. No, it was what I could do for them, their platform, or just being a part of, the dialogue, the talk with celebrities about celebrities. They went away. Nobody was there at the darkest time in my life. And that's when I had to learn. And that's what I was taught. And it took me 9 years, but I was taught to be alone. I was taught to be alone with God and my thoughts and me. And even and my kids and my husband thought I was just in the room, just being depressed. No, I was in here and God was talking to me. We were having conversations. I was dealing with my hurt and my pain. I was dealing with it. Fast forward, God comes to me and says, get up. I still have need of you. And I was obedient. And I came back out. And I still had a little pain to deal with. But I'm out now. You know? And I'm going through a little something right now. And folks still not calling. Folks still, people, only one person showed up. Purely just showed up. Sora Vanessa just showed up. I learned so much in these past few months just coming out about human nature. And see, Black folks, as a community as a whole, when it comes to our plight in this country, we do the same thing. Every other group in this country have their group, and their focus is their interests. Many of these immigrants come over here and they look down on us. They talk about it. They say we're lazy, we're this, and they don't acknowledge the trauma that was passed down. They don't acknowledge the microaggressions that still continue because they're allowed to come over here, get the loans, get support from our government without even putting anything into it. And now that ICE is threatening their livelihood, now that ICE is talking about them, now they want us, the same group of people who they have talked shit to and about, they want us to come to their rescue. And that's why I'm reluctant. People says, we got to. It's not that we're not partnering with them. Why they don't make the same demands on the people who actually are oppressing them? They want us to come in and fight the war for them. They want us to come in and what are they going to give to us in return? And and I realize there's nothing wrong in having that type of mentality. Quid pro quo. What are you going to do for me? There are a bunch of Latino, you got Dominicans, you got Puerto Ricans, you got the Spanish, the actual Spanish. You don't see them going to them. You don't see them pushing it, okay? Because they want them illegals out too. Look, my family and I did it the right way. We're here, okay? Look, they're not going to anybody because they want to piggyback off the civil rights movement. Let's be clear. The civil rights was dealing with foundational Black people rights. Basic human rights. Equal access. Not being denied because of the color of our skin. And while I appreciate Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter's speech yesterday, but when she started talking about ICE and this and that, I at that point, that's where I digress from that agenda. And I know she feel obligated because people are making her feel guilty because she got to keep money coming to the King Center. Let's not be. Donations are needed at the King Center. Government, funding and stuff. And when she can't depend on our community to support, she got to take on other agendas that may not be beneficial to the foundational Black people. And I'm seeing how all this works. Our problem is foundational black people. We have not supported ourselves. After Martin Luther King was killed, they let some of us in the suburbs. They let some of us at the table. And when we got to the table, we didn't bring in others. And then if we try to help someone and they snaked us, we held that against every other black person going forward. And then some of these jobs made it so that they did not want us to prosper. Because I say, when I was at one of my jobs, I wanted to bring in Keisha's daughter, who's an attorney now, she is a law school graduate. I wanted to bring her in just to do an internship. And they gave me such a hard time about bringing her in. And she wanted to work for free. She just wanted a few hours. It has been because not enough of us created opportunities. But now the door is wide open for us to create opportunities. And when we create these opportunities and we come to our community to have people to work for us, you need to be on cold. You got to give your best. Like Martin Luther King said, be the best street sweeper. Be the best truck driver. Be the best attorney. Be the best Don't look at blacks with money. Can't look at blacks with less money and look down on them. And talk to them in any kind of way. And mistreat them. Because like Muhammad Ali said, still a nigga. And now these immigrants, now that they're being stopped and frisked, now that their livelihood's being challenged, they want to run to the same people they talk shit about and want us to be in the fight when we have not built the proper foundation in our community. Why aren't they running to white women? White women have benefited the most from the civil rights movement, from all movements in this country. Why are they running to them, making demands on them? Because they have more access and clout and power than the black community, who is still trying to find her place in society. Why are they running to the Jews who got the real power? Not all of them, but certain ones, okay? Why don't they run to the Rothschilds, to the Bill Gates, and to the, the Mark Zuckerbergs? Why are they not making demands on these people who have access and have the money and are calling the shots? I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from my plight. I'm learning a lot about alliances. I'm learning a lot how it's important to take care of yourself, your situation first. Case in point, I gave away $45K. I didn't even realize I had given away $45K. I'm trying to start a business now. And guess what? If I had that money right now, that money would be helping me. I had no idea my job would go out like it did, that these people would mistreat me. But I didn't get upset. I followed what Joseph did. I followed what Jesus did when he went to the cross. I didn't get mad. I could sue these people right now and get a fortune. They're so dumb. But I refuse to do it. I don't want my energy focused on anything but what God tells me to focus on. And this was a test. And I needed this test. I needed to be exposed. I need to understand why I'm where I am. You better make sure your blessings are your blessings. God did not, we got that from the church. It's a sickness. He wants us to be benevolent. He wants us, but he don't want it to our detriment. He doesn't want us giving out an empty cup. He doesn't want us giving our blessings away, because there are blessings to benefit us. Now, if I had that money, I could right now, my business could be open and I could be employing people. You see that? And there lies the blessing. My company could be up and running, and I could take 10% of the earnings and put it into these various charities and get a tax write-off. So we have to learn. We have to learn to take care of home base first. We got to make sure home is... I see so many people out there now want to be religious guru, and their house is jacked up. Their finances is jacked up. Their health is jacked up. Because they use that to deflect and to hide. It appears like they're doing a good service, but they're only doing that to avoid. It's like a drug, to avoid dealing with their own personal issues. In 2026, we are not going to be allowed to ignore our personal issues. God does not care about your perfect, your pristine image when your character, who you are in the dark, doesn't match. I'm done.